On July 9, 2025, the basketball world lost a legend whose wit, wisdom, and warmth transformed a franchise and touched countless lives. Frank Layden, the sharp-witted coach and executive who lifted the Utah Jazz to new heights, passed away at the age of 93 in his beloved Salt Lake City, surrounded by family. The Utah Jazz confirmed his passing, noting that no specific cause of death was disclosed, likely a gentle nod to the natural conclusion of a long, vibrant life. From the playgrounds of Brooklyn to the sidelines of the NBA and WNBA, Layden's journey was one of grit, humor, and an unshakable love for the game. He was the man who drafted Hall of Famers John Stockton and Karl Malone, led the Jazz to their first playoff appearance in 1984, and won NBA Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year in the same season, a feat unmatched in league history. But beyond the accolades, Layden was a husband, father, and community pillar whose infectious laughter and storytelling left an indelible mark. Join us as we celebrate the life of Frank Layden, a true original whose legacy resonates far beyond the hardwood. Born on January 5, 1932, in Brooklyn, New York, Francis Patrick Layden grew up in a world where basketball was more than a game, it was a lifeline. The loss of his mother during childbirth left young Frank to be raised by his father, Michael, a dock worker whose resilience shaped his son's character. On Brooklyn's courts, Layden honed his skills, earning a reputation as one of the borough's best young players. His talent landed him a scholarship to Niagara University, where he played from 1950 to 1953, studying economics and forging lifelong friendships, including with future coaching peer Hubie Brown. In 1955, while in Rockaway, Queens, he met Barbara Campbell, the love of his life. They married in 1957, beginning a 68-year partnership that would anchor Frank through decades of triumphs and challenges. Together, they raised 3 children, Scott, Mike, and a daughter whose privacy they cherished, building a family grounded in love, humor, and a shared passion for sports. The reason Barbara and I stayed together, Frank quipped in 2014, is we go dancing, me on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or the other days. That humor, sharp and self-deprecating, became his trademark, a shield against life's hardships and a gift to those around him. Layden's coaching career began humbly, far from the NBA's bright lights. After a post-college stint in the Army, he taught and coached at Seton Hall High School, turning a winless team into county champions. By 1968, he was back at Niagara University, where he coached for 8 years, leading the team to its first NCAA tournament appearance in 1970 with the help of future NBA star Calvin Murphy. He could mold talent into legends, said Niagara's Simon Gray in 2025, reflecting on Layden's impact. In 1976, he joined the NBA as an assistant coach with the Atlanta Hawks under Hubie Brown, soaking up the professional game's intensity. 3 years later, in 1979, he was hired as general manager of the New Orleans Jazz, a struggling franchise on the brink of relocation. When the team moved to Salt Lake City in 1980, Layden came along, and in 1981, he took the helm as head coach after Tom Nisselke's departure. The Jazz were ailing, but Layden saw potential. "Life is too short," he told the Utah Jazz podcast years later. "We're gonna give it our best shot, but we're gonna have fun." And fun he brought, along with a vision that would change the franchise forever. Layden's tenure with the Jazz was nothing short of transformative. Taking over midway through the 1981-82 season, he faced a team with a 25-57 record. By 1984, he'd turned them into playoff contenders, posting a 45-37 record and earning NBA Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year, and the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award, a trifecta unmatched in NBA history. His bold moves as general manager laid the foundation for the Jazz's golden era. In 1982, he traded the number 3 draft pick, Dominique Wilkins, to the Atlanta Hawks for $1 million to keep the franchise afloat, a pragmatic decision that pained him but saved the team. In 1984, he drafted John Stockton at number 16, a point guard whose vision would redefine the game. A year later, he selected Karl Malone at number 13, a bruising forward who became the NBA's second leading scorer of all time. "Frank brought relevance to Utah," said former assistant Gordon Chiesa. Layden's 277-294 coaching record over 7+ seasons included 5 straight playoff appearances, with 3 conference semifinal runs. His number 1 jersey, retired by the Jazz, hangs as a testament to his impact. Yet, by 1988, the pressure of coaching had worn him down. In the NBA, you age 7 years and 1, he told the Washington Post. Stepping away mid-season, he handed the reins to assistant Jerry Sloan, who would lead the Jazz to 2 NBA Finals. Layden's influence extended beyond the court. As Jazz president and general manager until 1999, he remained a guiding force, hiring Sloan and shaping a culture of toughness and teamwork. His brief return to coaching with the WNBA's Utah Stars in 1998-99 showed his versatility, though he retired after a season, saying he wanted to enjoy life. His son Scott, who worked under him in the Jazz front office, carried the family legacy to roles with the Knicks, Spurs, and Timberwolves. Mike Layden joined his father as an assistant with the Stars, a father-son moment Frank cherished. Beyond basketball, Layden's love for theater shone through in small acting roles, including No More Baths in 1998 and The Huntress in 2000, and in his co-hosting of Dazzling Dunks and Basketball Bloopers with Marv Albert. His larger-than-life personality made him a media darling, with one-liners like, "I don't jog because I want to be sick when I die," or, on his weight, in India, they'd worship this body. Once over 300 pounds, he shed 85 pounds in 1986 for health reasons, a discipline he approached with the same determination he brought to coaching. Layden's life in Utah was as rich off the court as on it. He and Barbara settled in Salt Lake City, where they became community fixtures. Frank sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at Salt Lake Bees games, spoke at charity events, and supported youth organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs, where his own basketball journey began. His net worth, estimated at $5 million at the time of his death, came from his NBA and WNBA roles, public speaking, and media appearances, but he lived modestly, prioritizing family and community. "Anything you do should be fun," he told the Deseret News in 2014, a philosophy he lived daily. He golfed, attended Jazz games, and doted on his grandchildren, finding joy in simple moments. His commitment to Barbara, who earned a counseling degree to help the indigent, was unwavering. "It's time to pay back," she said after his retirement, and together, they did, through philanthropy and presence. In 2019, the NBA honored Layden with the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing his contributions to basketball and beyond. "I don't deserve this," he quipped, "but on behalf of all the C students, I'll take it." The news of Layden's passing at 93 prompted an outpouring of tributes. The Utah Jazz called him a pillar in our community, while owners Ryan and Ashley Smith said, "It's hard to imagine the Jazz without Frank Layden." The NBA mourned his loss, noting his unique sense of humor and genuine kindness. On X, fans and peers shared memories, one writing, "Frank was a basketball folk hero, making sandwiches mid-game and drafting legends." Another posted, "His one-liners were as iconic as his coaching." Former players like John Stockton praised his mentorship, while Karl Malone credited him for believing in a kid from Louisiana Tech. Layden's son Scott, now a respected NBA executive, called him a hard act to follow, a sentiment echoed by those who knew his storytelling prowess. His brief stint with the New York Knicks as a consultant, alongside Scott, was a nod to his Brooklyn roots, but Utah was home. "He stayed because of the people," Scott said, a truth evident in Layden's decades of community service. Even critics admired his authenticity, with one ex-post noting, "Frank treated everyone the same, from custodians to mayors." Frank Layden's life was a masterclass in balancing intensity with joy. From Brooklyn's playgrounds to Utah's Salt Palace, he carried a struggling franchise to prominence, drafting players who became legends and building a legacy that reached 2 NBA Finals. His humor, whether joking about his weight or playfully ribbing Pat Riley, made him unforgettable, but his heart made him beloved. He was a coach who saw potential in underdogs, a father who raised a basketball dynasty, and a man who found fun in every moment. As we reflect on his 93 years, we see a life lived with purpose, laughter, and love. The image of Frank, cheering at a Bees game or hugging Barbara after a portrait, lingers as a reminder of his warmth. Rest in peace, Coach. Your legacy on the court, in the community, and in the hearts of those you touched, will never fade. If this tribute to Frank Layden moved you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories about the legends who shaped our world. Your support helps us keep their legacies alive. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep finding the fun in life.